Hey, welcome to Free Coffee.
Welcome.
It's 2018.
Woo.
It's our first episode of the year.
We're in it.
But we're here now.
Yeah.
And we're trying to revisit one of our most popular videos, Black Panther.
Yeah. I mean,
we know it's popular because
we had to do something for Black Panther. I feel like had to come out of the shadows, had to break the schedule and be like, hold up, Wakanda forever.
Wakanda.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. That was great.
I got these dollars on the floor. You see these dollars on the floor.
So many things have gone through my mind in terms of preparation for going to see the movie, and I mean the anticipation around the movie when it dropped. Everybody, I mean, we all know what happened. It's broken like so many records, and it's just an insane movie. And I don't know, just the momentum and the movement around it has been super exciting.
And even that being said, though, because it was a lot of hype. It was a lot of hype.
It was a lot of hype, yeah. In fact, I wasn't even like going crazy. I don't know if you remember from the last time, but
yeah, you was like,
I was like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Did it live up to the hype?
Absolutely. In my mind, I wasn't prepared for it to be that good, and I wasn't prepared for the commentary to be that strong. Now, I'm not a comic book fan. I didn't grow up with it, so I feel like some people might have gone into it already kind of having an idea of the story that Stan Lee created in the world. And actually, I mean, that shit was deep. Like, wait, and staying true to like that's how the original story was. I mean, not completely. I know that they, changed some things, but
yeah, they changed.
I didn't know, but I feel like they brought me into this world and made some excellent commentary, some excellent social commentary, had some great graphics, had some
And I want to put, because man, they made some changes to the story, but the thing I like about Marvel is that they really, really understand their characters, as they should, since they're their characters. So the changes that they made, I think, definitely were purposeful and made the cinematic version of the story much, much better than it would have otherwise by sticking slavelessly to the comic book character. This movie was able to make those changes, and I think it really kept the integrity of the original story. Even though I'm a Marvel fan, but the Black Panther was, I knew about Wakanda and Black Panther, and I read a couple comic books, but I don't even think I owned a single Black Panther comic.
Yeah, I wonder if Marvel thought or knew that it was going to, hit just like how it hit. I think especially it hit harder too in terms of Trump as president and all this other stuff where people are like, we want to see this. We want to see this African unification. We want to see this coming together. We want to see this power and the solidarity. I think
they knew we would show up. Obviously, that was going to happen. But I think that there's no way they could have expected it was going to be this much of a success, because it could have easily not. Regardless, it was going to do well because it's a Marvel movie and they don't put out trash. So, it was going to be a decent superhero movie. But, yeah, I mean, this is like beating some of the Avengers movies,
Yeah.
Like.
That's funny.
Just the way they were able to cover so many different issues and topics, and they covered the African American experience, and they were able to put Africa in a great light, a unique one that's never been in before. They were able to put women in the foreground, and they brought it all together. There was a lot of different themes happening at the same time, which a lot of times can lead to something messy, and they just did it well.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean, picking up on that, there were so many things, just like how you said, that's excellent. That was so well done in terms of embracing African culture and making Africa a beautiful place. And I feel you'd never have an opportunity to see Africa as this beautiful place. I thought it was brilliant to have it be this world that's kind of underneath, and no, we're just putting on this front like we don't have anything going on. Just brilliant. And you know what though, thinking about that in terms of women in the forefront, I heard someone say to me that one of the things that they didn't like about it was the women, they weren't feminine enough. And this is a black man who said this to me. as well. And it's like, that they, that the women in the film, he felt like, they were warriors, and
they were warriors. That's what they were.
Yeah, and like I feel like having a bald head or having short hair, to me, saying that doesn't equal femininity is such a rejection of African. It's insane. Like,
yeah, no, man, that's
long hair, and
that's that old ignorant thinking that's gotta die.
And then like when you see like the boss bitchness of Angela Bassett in this movie, like if she wasn't a queen, like, and not even to say that. I don't even know what that looks like. I feel like everybody was represented. Everybody was represented, and femininity was represented, and masculinity was represented, and because
they were actually the problem is he said that because the women in the movie were actually doing things. And that's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look. Okay, I'm not saying. No, fuck that. They were doing things. They were doing things. They were doing the armies. They were fighting. They were making decisions. You know what I'm saying? They were making other men bow to them. That's it's a powerful image that you're not used to. But I think the point is not that, women are, for me, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but not that women are stronger than men, which I feel like sometimes men get like really insecure and caught up in this insecurity of like, no, I mean, they're not as strong as me, whatever, or whatever. I think that the point is that they could be, you know what I'm saying? Like they're people. So they could do things that people do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and people can fuck around and do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't know who you're fucking with at any point in time. And I think just respecting the fact that we're all people here, man, I should have cussed that guy out. Honestly, I wasn't ready for it because it's just sometimes you just don't even want to engage in dumb shit.
Yeah, you're like, oh, man, if I address this, it's going to turn into
yeah. So, and sometimes that is necessary. I'm going to revisit it, but like at that moment, I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of my, just shut up, please.
One critique that I heard about the Black Panther was that the movie did not have LGBT representation in it. And they thought that was messed up.
I feel like that's funny that you say that because I saw something similar to that, and I didn't really go too deep into it because honestly I was like, I mean, come on, dog.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of that is a mainstay for the other Marvel movies, where it's like LGBT representation is just all over the other Marvel movies, and they didn't put it in this one, and that's why Black people aren't open to LGBT. Like, come on, dog, chill. You know, I think, and also the story wasn't about LGBT anything at this point. Like, I feel like in order to see that, you would have to introduce that into the story, and this is based off of another story. So, you know, why would we need to go into the bedroom of somebody that has nothing to do with the story that we're following? I just feel like, choose your battles. Come on, chill.
Yeah. I feel like the conversation about representation in movies really does have to take place like on a large scale, like aggregate, because you can't really point out a single movie and be like, that movie doesn't have Native Americans in it. This is a fucking racist movie. Exactly. Because what if the story doesn't have it? Like, what if there's no room for that? You know what I'm saying? Where does that come in?
Exactly.
Not to say, I mean, I get it. You know, I'm not like, that's not necessary. That conversation is definitely necessary, but you can't point out specific movies and be like, unless it called for that and then they took it out for some reason, or cast a white person as the Native American person, or did something like that.
Exactly.
If it was a gay character and they made it straight. Yeah.
Erasure is different. Like, adding is now, that's not the story. So why can't the story just be the story? Wow.
Come on, we can't do that. That's a slippery slope. There's a lot of people that are unrepresented, underrepresented, or misrepresented. It's like you can't have all the representation of everything in every single story. And I don't know where that would have fit in Black Panther. I mean, it could have been a choice that was made. For sure. That could have happened. It didn't, though.
Yeah.
And so
but then also, I feel like, how do we know that LGBT wasn't represented in Black Panther?
The greatest
do we have to see somebody who's stereotypically gay in order to believe that that person is gay? Do we have to see them participate in a same-sex activity in order for that person to be gay? Why can't they just be the characters in the movie? Honestly, when I saw them dudes coming out that cave, that shit was kind of gay to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Maybe LGBT was represented.
And there you have it. That point made.
Just saying, you don't fucking know. And that's, that's another thing. I just hate that. I hate that shit about like what LGBT looks like, because it really comes down to a stereotype of what it is versus like these are human beings participating in the world just like everybody else.
Check and mate. So here's my question on the critical side of the movie. Was the acting in Black Panther as good as the overall movie itself?
Personally, I wasn't distracted by the acting in Black Panther, and overall, I thought the performances fit what should happen in a comic book movie. I thought it was solid. I thought everybody did a good job. I feel like I've heard some critiques on Michael B. Jordan's acting. Personally, I'm not a big fan of his acting, and I'm not even trying to sound like that person right now. But ever since I saw him in Fruitvale Station, he was the worst, like, Compton, native I've ever seen. Like, I'm just like, if y'all don't find somebody from Compton to get that motherfucker a job, he cute or whatever, but come on, man. I don't know, man. They be gassing Michael B. Jordan up, dude. I mean, please, do your thing. Peace and blessings to you, sir. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, that's real. I feel like,
Yeah, what were your issues with the acting in the movie? Because clearly you feel a certain way.
It's kind of like you said. None of the acting distracted me from the movie. Except for Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, his portrayal of Killmonger was a little hollow. I mean, it felt a little wooden. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It didn't like ruin the experience then, but there were some times during the movie when I thought, damn, he seems a little detached from what's happening. Like, the way that he said his lines,
He not angry. He didn't grow up angry. I feel like he grew up a child actor. You know what I mean? So that like in my soul bitterness, I just don't feel like he got that.
He can really tap into that. But that's being critical.
That's being critical.
And then also, and my second critique is of Chad Boseman, like T'Challa. He did the job. I'm not mad at it. He did the job. I just feel like
who could have done it better?
Who could have done it better? That's a great question. Who could have done
Mackie. It? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a black guy who is a good actor. You know what I mean? You think Anthony Mackie could have done it?
I think they wanted someone with an African look, and I think Anthony Mackie looks particularly African American.
I feel that. One of the questions that I had in terms of Black Panther was the role of African Americans in the movie and Killmonger as a representation of African Americans in the movie. I mean, we know the fate didn't work out so good, and he self-destructed at in the end. He just what he did. He was super destructive. So the pain inside of him was just rampant, and it didn't result well. So
yeah,
go ahead. What were you about to say?
On my social media feeds, there was a lot of people that was like, man, fuck T'Challa. Killmonger was right. You know what I'm saying? He should have been.
I never saw that.
Oh yeah, I
didn't see that. But I also wasn't checking her. So
okay, yeah, no, I saw that in a couple conversations. In fact, I participated in a few. And I remind you, the problem with that, for those who are thinking like that out there, is that he murdered his girlfriend and partner. I don't know if you forgot about that part. He was loyal to no one, and he wanted to destroy both Wakanda, and he killed Africans that had nothing to do with the problem. You know what I'm saying? He said it himself that he killed people in his own land, as a part of the U.S. government. So it seemed like his he was going to arm people to rise up. That was his goal. But then what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
there was like no further thought than that.
So, but hold on though. I feel like a part of what he was saying was that, you know, in order to make Wakanda the power of the world and let everybody know how great Wakanda is, to me, I think that is an American mindset to, hey, show my strength, show my power, rule that shit, you know, and shine. So was that like his American mentality? And is it like a calling to, no, don't be like that. Be humble, sit down, take a Wakanda approach, you know, with his, you know, maybe a more African tradition. Is that what's being said? I mean, I'm also kind of like navigating this myself, but in the end of the movie, you see this person who, yeah, is supposed to be African American who doesn't make it, and is it because of his? Well, I don't know. Is it something that's wrong with African Americans though? You know what I'm saying? Is that what they're saying? That's the problem with African Americans, that they kind of have to die in terms of the American mindset of dominance and control. That in order to succeed, or in order for your people to succeed, that dominance and control mindset has to die, or it won't survive up against a greater calling and a greater purpose, you know, of unity, peace, humility, love, you know. So
strength. Like kill the old way of doing things and then start anew. So
maybe, yeah.
You think is that why he burned the garden of the heart-shaped herb that makes the Black Panther the Black Panther?
God, he was just so trash.
he said there ain't gonna be none after me. What you mean, next king? You know what I'm saying?
He was so trash.
And he also wasn't. It's not like he was talking about turning it into a democracy. You know, obviously, I don't think that was on the agenda. So it's like, that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to humanize him a little bit, and it's like, you know, maybe he really had an agenda, but I mean, in terms of the people who were saying.
But you know what though?
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate to cut you off, but it's like. That's why I wish Michael Jordan was a better actor. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like at the heart of his character, the thing that I got out of it when I really thought about it, and I had to think about it a little harder than I should have, that he is fueled by this rage. Now, the story of the movie says that. I mean, almost literally. I mean, you know, the theme comes out again and again. But his acting did not convey to me the rage that I think that would have been necessary to really convey his stance on everything and kind of humanize him. Because if it doesn't connect, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't seem like he's having a human response to a normal thing. Or I say normal, but you know, I mean like an event, you know, and so it seems like a monster. Because there's no, and then they tried to explain it, but I feel
like the first time I saw it, I feel like that resonated with me in terms of being a person in Africa. I mean, being a black person in America and feeling displaced and feeling like Africa never tried to come back for us. You know what I'm saying? I have thought that. You know, why not?
Yeah, this makes sense.
So that's. At this point, I mean, I don't think that's a thought. I don't think about that like often. You know what I'm saying? But I have thought. I mean,
they were shambles. what they? I mean, they was fucked up too.
I mean, but not all of Africa. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like certain I'm humanizing these people in terms of saying like you can do what is important to you. You can find a way. I mean, and maybe not. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know the history. I don't know the history of that. I don't know the history of what's possible. I don't. But I've never even heard that as like a feeling, a sentiment, you know, our lost children that we want back. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the effort. Yeah. Fuck the effort. Even the fucking thought.
Ooh, that's a good.
You know what I mean?
Deep.
Where is deep. That? And that to me, that did piss me off in ways. It's like, I get it. You know, when we talked about like African Americans, I've heard people who are from Africa get upset with African Americans who wear African clothing because they don't understand the history of it. They don't know the history of it.
I think it's like that African pride though, that is an American thing. I really do feel like that. I feel like that sense of Africa as one place and that we all belong to the motherland of Africa. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is an African American thing. People from Africa don't have that complex.
It's not a oneness. It's everybody got their little thing going on. You know, there's lots of tribes, lots of languages. Not a oneness. Yeah, that's real. That's real. And since as African Americans, we feel like we're trying to just find something
because we all connect. We've created. When you think about it, it makes sense because we've created a sort of clan, if you will. Out of all the black people in America, we feel like we belong to a certain something.
That's true.
And that place,
the diaspora is in us.
Africa.
Is part of.
We associate our origins with Africa, so we see each other as coming from the same place. Where it's like
y'all came from different places.
You know what I'm saying?
And we don't really know where.
Yeah, we don't know where.
Y'all threw some white in there too, and that's on the other side.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, that's real. That's real. But damn,
that would be.
Damn, what does that mean? What does that mean for building this African future? And I think, so that's yes. What does that mean though, in terms of building an African future and Africans and African Americans, growing a Pan-African movement and, just that enriching that culture and I don't know, trying
that brings us to the next question. Let's talk about Wakanda and what that would look like in the future. Until you say what you
So my question is, how do you build a Wakanda? Is that a real thing? Is that a future? Is that a realistic future that we can kind of aim toward? And what do you think?
One would like to think so. But again, not again. Wakanda is the whole idea behind it is that they get this resource that no one else has, and they're able to refine it and experiment it in their own country without interference from the rest of the world, and they're able to build it into this isolated technological mecca. If that happened, that would give the possibility that we could all unite and create some Wakandan utopia. It's anything. I feel like anything is possible, but I feel like the likelihood that will happen, who knows? I don't know. Pretty far in the future, things could change. The world dynamics could change, and Africa could be there could be a time where the most powerful country in the world is in Africa. That is possible.
That was a time. So, if cycles exist, if cycles exist, then it's not.
In that sort of reality, in that a paradigm like that, maybe, but there's no indication that is anywhere in sight. Now, I feel like that's the reality, but I feel like for that to happen, I think we would have to change a lot of perceptions of ourselves, which is the hardest thing. Africa and what an ideal society or community will be. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And damn, I don't feel like I was that pragmatic. Maybe I was a little bit more wishful in my thinking, and I guess because in ways, I feel like I see Wakanda in people in my community, in people that I know, and I see folks who are making great things. I see folks who are Black people, who are scientists, who are engineers, who are, just run the gamut of everything that human beings can be. So I just kind of feel like, if we did, if the culture of that, having a movie like this that's like just reminds Black people all over, like, yo, y'all come together. You know what I mean? To me, I feel hopeful that we can see that push happen. And kind of like, what was that thing that oh damn, I wish I could remember who said it. I'm not even gonna reference it, but it was some comedian. It was either Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock. It must have been Chris Rock, in terms of like terrible things happening and kind of those being the catalyst for better things to happen,
Dave Chappelle.
Okay, yeah. So It's kind of like without these terrible things, then it creates these worlds, and then I feel like we've been shaken in America a lot, and now to have something that's like, here's a reminder, there's a goal, there's an end point. I think it came at a good time, and the energy is like, we have work to do. We have work to do, and it made it in a way that kids, and adults and old people can feel. You know what I'm saying? Really kind of made it plain, and I hope that, and I think that was the point of the movie, and I hope that people really are embodying that and putting that in their lives. And I think that the movie, movies impact culture. I think that movies impact culture. I know that movies impact me. So just off of that, I think that it is possible to build, and I don't know how soon that is or what that looks like, but I don't know. I believe in it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I feel like by the time, I feel like there are so many more things that would need to happen first before we could tackle an ideal society, that it's very disheartening. But yeah. And then I honestly feel like by the time we figure it out, it won't be necessary anymore or relevant. And, and that's sad on some fronts, but then
that's I guess that's kind of the point, though, is that it is happening. You know what I mean? Like, though, no, it's not like, boom, world change, this whimsical thing, but it's happening in a very human way. It takes a lot of time, and to the point where you don't even realize change is happening. Exactly. All of a sudden you're in a different world.
It's happened in our lifetime, when you really think about it, with the internet and social media and, just the different dynamics of even socially, like between LGBT and Black America. 2018 is a different world than 1991.
Hell yeah.
The whole game has changed.
Woo! Well, that was dope. I think we had a really good time on this. This was a fun conversation. It was fun to get back into it, and Black Panther is definitely a perfect reason to jump back into some fun conversations. Yeah,
that's it. Thank you for watching Free Coffee, our first episode of 2018. Woo!
Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe.
Exactly.
And all that good stuff. All right, until next time, y'all. Stay woke.